This is TWiT.
The U.S. investigations, especially this past week's testimony, really about Section 230 seemed tainted by politics to some degree. And I have to wonder if there really is any real risk to these companies, any more than the president's executive order against TikTok has harmed TikTok in any way. If anything, it's probably just increased the number of downloads. The politics seem to hinder the ability to kind of agree on what to do. You agree, Ed?
Oh God, absolutely. The whole the Section 230 hearings that weren't
they were just grandstanding. They were political grandstanding.
It was political grandstanding. It was and the real thing is when you look at a hearing that is legitimate is going to have legislation that comes out of it.
Right.
I fail to see how any legislation could come out of this that would get passed and signed.
There's no consensus.
There's no consensus
about what to do
on anything.
No.
And all of the possibilities, no matter which direction you go, make things worse, not better for everyone. I mean, it's just it is the classic lose-lose proposition. So this was just an opportunity for primarily, this was in the Senate, so it's run by the Republicans, and it was an opportunity for Republican senators to yell at social media companies and create sound clips,
for their ads,
sound bites that they can use to run in ads or to share with their constituents.
I'm tough on Twitter, let me tell you.
It also diminishes the power that it would be in the past. Like, I got called in front of Congress. I don't want that to happen. But when it happens every other week, you could. There was a note about how calm all of the CEOs were, like when they were being questioned, even though they're being screamed and yelled at. It's because they're like,
so what?
I know this isn't going to do anything. No one cares, and nothing's going to come of it. So it's unfortunate that the power of Congress or the power of the Senate is having a diminished effect because of this theater and an era where facts don't hold the same weight. So it's even both sides, the Republican and the Democratic sides, they're talking as if they didn't really understand what the law was governing these companies or how their place in it could affect the future of the internet. They were just like, why'd you do this? And why'd you do that? And why don't you do this? And it just felt like a scolding and not really moving it forward.
Especially on the eve of an election, because they're going to be a lame duck Congress in 3 days anyway. And highly unlikely, as you say, that anything will happen. I don't want to, on the other hand, diminish any threats to Section 230 because those are existential dread threats to my business, to everybody who produces content online, especially if you allow comments or a chat room as we have or a forum. All of that is protected by Section 230, and any threat to Section 230 is a threat to them. But so I don't want to kind of say, don't worry about it. But you know what? It really felt like, don't worry about it. They got bigger fish to fry. Maybe next year, then we can.
There's something that Wesley said that struck me. He said, how calm they all were.
Right.
I remember a year or two ago.
Jack didn't even bother trimming his beard.
I saw a year or two ago, I saw a tweet from Jack Dorsey where he said, my resting heart rate, 41.
Yeah.
41. And I thought, wow, that's like, that is chill. That dude is chill. But I also thought that it would be a really interesting thing to, the next time they do these hearings, to require all of these CEOs to have heart rate monitors hooked up to them with real-time, heart rate things, so you can just watch the spikes as you go up there. And Jack, I think would just be flat, but Zuck, I would want to see Zuckerberg's, EKG, his heart rate monitor, because I think he's really calculating the entire time how can I use these things to lock in an advantage for Facebook and keep us, keep any competition from ever getting near us?
Yeah.
Saying that he wants regulation is a really smart play.
Right.
It's like when my kids fight, they're like, hey, I want to do this. And my other kid says, hey, I want to do this. I said, you two figure it out, then talk to me. And then I know that delays that for like hours because they will not come to a consensus.
Very
so he's like,
strategic of
you guys,
Wesley.
like, go ahead and regulate.
I wish I had thought
regulate us. And then now both sides are fighting, and now the focus is off them,
right?
Off the companies. It's on now the Congress. Congress needs to figure it out. And at the same time, on the side, he has all these lobbyists that are able to like whisper in the ears of what their interest is and try to shape that whole conversation. So it's a brilliant play by Mark by saying, yes, please regulate us.
And to what you were saying, Wesley, earlier about the Senate squandering its authority, a perfect example of that was Marsha Blackburn asking Sundar Pichai if some Google engineer who had criticized her was still employed at the company. Like, what, you expect Google to fire an engineer just because he said something unpleasant about you? Come on, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, a senator.
Yeah, talk about First Amendment. That's actually a violation of First Amendment, right? To have the government control your speech.
Right.